The creative industries is big business. In the UK alone, it accounts for £17.3 billion of exports, which is 8.8% of the total service exports of the country. I'm here at the British Academy for Film and Television Arts to meet with the renowned film producer Lord Puttnam, who is working with the industry body Creative Skillset and Ashridge Business School on a new executive MBA specifically for the creative industries. Lord Puttnam, you're a world-renowned producer in the world of film. Now you're teaching people leadership skills in the creative industries. What is it that you're trying to get across to people? What do people need to learn in this age?
What needs to be understood is the sheer breadth of opportunity that exists within the creative industries. So working with Creative Skillset and film schools, conservatoires and other organisations, we're trying to broaden out people's ambitions and parameters within which they work. We've got to pull them out of their silos. We've got to understand that it's a generation of young people who will emerge, who will take managerial or entrepreneurial roles using the extraordinary growth of the creative industries. I mean, 5% of GDP, more than 7% of total employment, taking advantage of this unique opportunity to find other avenues, other ways of monetizing what we know of as books, what we know of as the ballet, what we know of as opera, what we know of as movies, what we know of as television, looking right across the piece and saying, you know what, within these industries, there are all sorts of synergies, there are all sorts of opportunities, there are all sorts of technologies which are making this material available to bigger and bigger audiences in easier and easier ways. That's what we're trying to do. So
this is sort of about risk-taking in new areas. Why are people not doing this, sort of grabbing these different areas and combining and seeing the links?
I think if you go back to the digital world, the people who broke through were entrepreneurs, but they had to have an understanding of coding. They had to understand, as it were, the language of the medium they were operating in. I would go so far as to say that in the creative industries, people don't necessarily understand the language of the medium. They understand their silo. They understand how to do X or Y or Z. What they don't understand is the interconnectedness of those things and the fact that there are extraordinary monetizing opportunities by taking those silos and taking them out to new audiences in new ways. And that's what the digital world offers. So it's connecting the digital world to a world which traditionally was quite static, which traditionally dealt in individual products. The digital world takes those products, spreads them out, alters them, and creates opportunities.
And you're teaching people, you're someone who understands about presenting messages, maybe communicating with people. What advice would you give for maybe business school professors wanting to get into sort of online teaching, what they should do, how they should approach it?
I think they need to become more imaginative. I think they need to look at the tools that are technological tools that are available to them. I think that they need to look for metaphor and allegory more than just subjects. I mean, I certainly use metaphor in extraordinary ways by using clips from movies and say, look, you do realise. I'll give you an example. I use a clip from the movie Spinal Tap, where the boys are trying to find their way onto the stage, just literally trying to find their way on the stage. Now, why do I do that? It's like a memory maxim. I'm saying to people, you better know where you're headed before you set off. You better know what your destination is. You better know how to get on the bloody stage. Otherwise, frankly, you're not going to do the job that you were hired to do. And so it's a kind of constant stream of stuff like that, if you like, where I literally try to challenge my students personally, to say, look, wake up. The opportunity is there. You are required to be extraordinarily resilient. You're required to be very imaginative. You're required to have an understanding and knowledge of new platforms, new markets. What's changing with 30% of the cinema audience emerging in China? How does that change the movie industry? Answer, dramatically. Have you got your head around that? Have you understood what opportunities that creates? And do you know how to take advantage of them?